Hi, I'm Vince, also known as Peasant Kenobi on the internet. I'm the Magic the Gathering content creating equivalent of that guy's face on the original art for Duress.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Welcome back to another episode of LOLWUT. This is the series where I look to showcase the silliest, most degenerate, and perhaps the most notorious combo decks and just combos throughout Magic's history. Is there a combo deck that you like the look of, or at least the sound of the name, but you don't really understand it or what it does, and you want to know, but you're just too afraid to ask because the people at your local store are kind of mean? I'll tell them to stop being mean, but also comment down below to let me know if there's a deck name, or perhaps a combination of cards, you know, a combo that you'd like to see put into a deck and a video that might make it into the LOLWUT series. Tell me down below. Today we're playing one of the memes of Legacy, one of the boogeymen of the format, one of the decks that, as a Death and Taxes player, I really don't like playing against. This, today my friends, is Legacy Charbelcher. In short, this deck looks to do one of three things. It looks to deploy and activate a Goblin Charbelcher to kill your opponent, preferably on turn 1 before they can do anything, or it looks to storm off and play Empty the Warrens in order to kill your opponent with the Goblins, again, normally as early as, well, the first turn of the game. Lastly, it uses Burning Wish as one of its payoffs to either facilitate one of the first two game plans, or in order to go and grab Tendrils, for example, if the storm count is high enough, or to empty the Warrens from the sideboard and kill that way. In order to do this, it is a linear glass cannon deck with only one land in it. That's right, one land Belcher is another name that people sometimes give this deck, but everyone knows it's just Goblin Charbelcher in Legacy. This makes Land Grant a powerful card in this deck, and it helps to ensure that Belcher is lethal and doesn't leave your opponent laughing at your limp, wet fart of a gunshot. The deck is almost exclusively mana, either that be fast mana or actual rituals to get ahead in mana, so it looks to mulligan to its win conditions because it doesn't have enough card draw. It used to benefit very much from Gitaxian Probe, but that was banned out of the format to in some ways hinder these decks and make all-in combo not as good, and the deck also benefits from the London Mulligan rule, allowing you to get better, more consistent opening hands to try and combo. Whilst I call the deck linear, in the hands of an experienced pilot, and thanks primarily to the power of Burning Wish, it can do some rather intricate and cool shit to navigate against hate. But on the whole, the reason this deck is considered such a joke is that Force of Will really fucks it. For that reason, our best matchups are non-Force decks and non-Chalice decks. Meanwhile, our worst matchups are the Force decks and the Chalice Trinisphere decks. And that is the deck. It's easy to understand in motion, so let's just play some fucking Magic. Safe to say I probably won't be playing Goblin Charbelcher. The other largest contributors to my ongoing quest to make dumb fucking content for the internet is my patrons over on Patreon. The largest contributors of which are on screen now. If you want to join their ranks, help me brew decks, or get involved with the banter and inside jokes on the Discord, like Beth, Salmon, a tit is a cup. Is a sausage roll a pie because it's made out of pastry? Tea. Milking. The whole milking thing came from the Discord. Because sometimes a man just has to milk. Well, you can sign up for just $2 a month via the link in the description below. No, but seriously, $2 a month allows you to support me making these videos and to continue making content and to make the stuff that you're enjoying. It's less than the price of a booster. And like I said, it's less than the cost of a booster, and it's only 1/20th of the cost of a collector's booster. Huh. They deploy planes, which means it's probably Death and Taxes. Oh, I'm so sorry. This feels like cannibalism. We land grant, say hello, and then proceed to blow them the fuck up. We play Tinder Wall, and I would stop now to make a joke about Tinder. Sex Tinder, more like sexer. Am I right? Swipe left. Lion's Eye Diamond, sack the wall, Elvish Spirit Guide, ritual, bigger ritual, Burning Wish to look at our sideboard. On the stack, we make 3 blue mana and select diminishing returns from our sideboard. We cast it, exiling the top 10 cards of our library and drawing 7 more cards. For the record, this is probably not the correct or normal line, but it was a hell of a lot more fun to actually draw some cards. Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, Lotus Petal, Big Daddy Ritual once more into Goblin Charbelcher, the People's Canon. And then we let her rip.
You win! Perfect.
I keep a 7 that can belch. They lead basic planes into Aetherfile. It's like staring into a mirror. A dark reflection of myself. I feel dirty and unclean and uncultured, but fuck it. We all die someday, right? I make mana, I make mana, I make mana. Most of it red. I play a 4 mana artifact, and now my opponent is dead.
You win.
And now, round 2. Force of Will on our combo turn into Omniscience, and then an Emrakul. Yeah, it's blue-white Sharintel, and we're fucking dead. In game 2, we've got Cyborg Tech now. We brought in Zaphod Swarms. We keep a hand with no Belcher, no Wish, and no Warrens because we have a Pyroblast, I guess? We can hopefully stop them from going off and slowly accrue resources and draw a payoff. Keep in mind that before we started recording, I had lost a load of matches just to mulligan to Oblivion looking for a payoff. So I think I was not thinking clearly here, and perhaps I was a bit tilted. Brainstorm with Cracker Fetch to transform their hand. Next turn, we still haven't drawn anything worthwhile whilst they have played a Presage. I guess this Red Elemental Blast is not going to be all that hot after all. Fuck me, I guess. But wait! What's that coming over the hill? And by the hill, I mean our next draw step, obviously. It's the People's Canon. Let's fucking go. Rite of Flame, Seething Song, a Spell Pierce, but not on my watch, Sonny Jim. Pitching Simian Spirit Guide, I reveal my trap card. Red Elemental Blast. Rectum. Not rectum as in like a bumhole, but we wrecked M. We then cast Goblin Charbelcher, intending to simply draw a mana source or a red card to use this Chrome Mox in the hand to fire it off next turn our opponent's face. But that isn't quite how the story ends. Our opponent also have a Force of Will for our Belcher. Fuck. We keep a hand with no payoff. Again, this is probably still me being salty from my practice games. Look, don't form some sort of bias, my friends, and keep bad hands just because of some circumstance that happened in testing. Remember, kids, don't let salt bias you. Don't let it affect your decision making. Look, this is your brain on salt. Don't do salt. The land gone for a Tager on our first turn after we lost the die roll gives our opponent perfect information, and they simply Chalice of the Void on 2, which is it's kind of good against us. Next! Wait, is this a 7-card hand with a payoff in it? Oh my fucking god. Call the papers. Call the press. It is time for Charbelcher to shine. We play a Tagar, we cast Land Grant for the free storm count, we Simian, Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, play Burning Wish. With a Wish on the stack, we crack our LED to generate mana, and we choose red mana this time. We go to sideboard and, well, what would you have grabbed here? Keep in mind, like in the first round, Lion's Eye Diamond can create blue or black mana here, so all our options are open. What would you have done? I was so tempted to draw another 7, it feels more fun, but instead I just made the entire Zumba class of goblins. They take one look at my dance troupe of gobbos, and they scoop it up without ever playing a land or a spell. Welcome to Legacy. Population? Misery. I keep a hand that really hopes they don't play a turn 1 Chalice of the Void on 1. With a draw for turn and a draw from the Manamorphose, I need just 1 mana in either of those draws to deploy and fire my Death Star. Our opponent plays an Ancient Tomb. Hold. And nothing else. They pass the turn. They may want to just Chalice on 2 perhaps, as 1 isn't that hot against us comparatively. Whilst it turns off Rite of Flame and the Tinder Wall, you got to bear in mind that sometimes Charbelcher will just go off from a Simian or Elvish Spirit Guide. So, fun fact, Chalice on 2 is probably better against Charbelcher, honestly. Oh, and a turn 1 Trinisphere would have been pretty GG, no RE2. We then draw a Burning Wish. We land grant for a Tager. We play it and cast Rite of Flame. We ritual, we Manamorphose. We draw a second cannon.
They do move in herds.
Seething Song for 6 mana, and now we have 1 mana short. What will we do? We can't fire our cannon. But wait, who's that on our sideboard? Is that a new Throne of Eldraine card that costs 3 red mana and 1 of any other colour that people wanted me to play in mono red Tron because people either are silly or want to watch me lose some fucking games, more games than normal? Yes. That's exactly what it is. It's also fetchable from our Burning Wish. Ironcrag Feet! I choose you! I think I might call my feet tier on Patreon when I make it Ironcrag Feet. Is that weird? We have 7 mana in our pool from the feet, and if you cast your mind back to the pictures of Belcher I showed at the beginning of this video, It costs 4 mana to play and 3 mana to activate. 7 is the magic number. We deploy and fire the 50 cal.
What?
Headshot.
I played another practice round while I was in the middle of the league because I felt like I was keeping bad hands still. In this practice round, my opponent plays a Watery Grave and a Maze of Ith and ponders on turn 2. I make a Belcher and they just scoop it up, which makes me think that perhaps they're in the wrong queue with this Shockland, but I mean, welcome to Legacy! Enjoy your stay!
Headshot.
I mulligan this all-mana hand into another all-mana hand. I then mulligan again because this 5 has some gas in it, and by gas I mean Belcher. Do you get it? Belching? Gas? Get it? Get it?
They're incredibly powerful.
Then I die to an onslaught of Vengevines and Hogak nonsense. Honestly, this 5 was looking pretty hot. All I need to do was draw 2 mana's worth of acceleration to be able to deploy the Belcher and then fire it. But instead we drew a second Belcher. And then a land grant, and then eventually a Simeon Spirit Guide, but we were still 1 mana short and it was too late. Post board, we make a load of mana and play a Belcher, and then all we need to do is untap and draw 1 mana source amongst a deck of mana sources. But then they cast Force of Vigor, blowing up one of our Chrome boxes and our Belcher. And this makes me feel very, very sad. Rest in peace, my Belchy friend. We aren't dead though, as we slowly accrue resources by drawing cards each turn, including a Lion's Eye Diamond, which is a pretty good draw, as that can be used to fire a laser once it's deployed. We end up a mana or 2 short of actually playing the Charbelcher out, but then, before we quite get there, Cabal Therapy naming Belcher hitting both copies in my hand means we never had a chance. We are now dead.
They're moving in herds and herds.
All mana, mulligan. All mana again, mulligan. We find a hand with wishes and empty, so I keep this, planning to draw cards for a couple of turns, then go off. Our opponent ponders. Then we draw a Seething Song, and I get super fucking greedy. We land grant for a Taiga, play it, and the Tinder Wall. We crack the Tinder Wall, and we write off it up to 3 mana. At this point, we could cast Empty the Warrens using the freshly played Lotus Petal, and then, even if they forced us or dazed us, we'd end up with like 12 goblins because the copies would resolve thanks to Storm. Instead, I go 1 deeper with Seething Song, which they counter, leaving me high and dry and probably loses me the game, honestly. Against a non-blue deck, this line was correct. Against a deck that just played an island and pondered, this was strictly incorrect. Essentially, as much of a meme Charbelcher is, and it's folding to Force of Will, some hands like this one would still beat it, even on mulligan to 5. This is probably one of the best hands I could have had when going to 5, but I got really fucking greedy. I missequenced and misplayed and lost the game because of it, is why Magic the Gathering is one of the greatest games in the world, because so many decisions aren't trivial, and interaction and what you do matters, in spite of the RNG and the variance that comes inherent to Magic as well. Who would have thought that playing Legacy Goblin Charbelcher would make me appreciate this game even more than I do already? How unexpectedly wholesome from a Belcher deck. In order to cleanse your palate, here's a dank copy pasta that spawned from my last video as a joke or a bit or a parody that I did on Facebook that got taken a little bit too seriously. We end up wishing for Pyroclasm next turn as they buried alive 3 fucking birds into the bin. They rip it out of our hand with Thoughtseize and peck us to death. In game 2, our Seething Song gets forced and we die. The end. Or is it? We rebuild, deploy a Belcher through a Cabal Therapy, and don't have enough mana to kill. We need to draw 1 more mana next turn. Can you guess what happens next? Is there a pattern here every time I say we need to draw 1 more mana of some kind? Well, yeah, the Echo and Truth of Belcher, Ultimate the Royal Scions, go to kill us in the air with some birds and I scooped to not give them the satisfaction. Bet you weren't expecting that, you fuck. And that, my friends, was Legacy Charbelcher, and that was the latest episode of LOLWUT. Unless you're watching this on a playlist later, or you've stumbled across this in like 6 months' time, then in which case it probably wasn't the latest episode of it, unless I don't make any more episodes because nobody likes this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, the deck, and the silliness involved. If you did, do me a favour, hit the like button down below, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and perhaps share the video with your friends that might enjoy it as well, so they can witness the stupidity and silliness that is available to people in the eternal formats, and so they can discover my content as well, and hopefully enjoy it, and watch more of my videos, and that way I don't die by withering up from a lack of attention. Comment down below with your favourite part, and let me know if there's any combos or particular combo decks you'd like to see in the LOLWUT series in future. I've been Vince, also known as your favourite slut on the internet, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Subscribe to Pleasant Kenobi! Ta-ta for now.